Hey guys, it's sammydbobs here, back with another video, and today it's going to be different. So instead of doing a GarageBand video, I just wanted to go over what happened in for the Marvel movies. Obviously, Endgame came out on Friday, and I just want to talk a bit about it. Before I start, I just want to say, if you have not seen Endgame, please do not watch this video because I just do not want to be that one guy who spoils for everyone. So if you have not seen Endgame, do not watch this video because it's going to be spoilers. Basically, I'm just going to be doing what I think will happen after Endgame based on the events of Endgame. Well, let's get right into the video. Beginning of the movie, they were at the very beginning, they were just going over who they lost and how they were doing it, and then it fast forward to 5 years, and it showed how their lives were then, and then obviously the whole Ant-Man story happened. Just gotta start from the beginning. Ant-Man, because he came out because the rat obviously activated the quantum tunnel, which is actually kind of funny. And he got out, and he thought that because the time was different, they could time travel. So he thought that they would be able to get the stones and bring everybody back. So then they figured out that they could time travel. They made the suits. Even after Tony didn't want to do that first, he still did eventually. And they went back in time into different time to get the stones. And so Hawkeye and Black Widow went to get the Soul Stone. So from Infinity War, if you've seen it, to get the Soul Stone, Thanos had to sacrifice Gamora by throwing her into the pit, and then he was able to get the Soul Stone from Red Skull. So you basically had to sacrifice what you love. It's a soul for a soul. So then that means that either Hawkeye or Black Widow had to die, but they couldn't. They were fighting over who should take the death, die, and who should survive. And then in the end, Black Widow died because Black Widow pushed off the mountain and died. So then he got the Soul Stone and brought it back. But the thing is, so Red Skull, he said that it couldn't be undone. But the thing was, so they could have technically undone it. So here's what I question. Because even if it can't be done, because the Infinity Stones, if you get them all, then you're the most powerful being in the universe. Well, in the multiverse. And then no one can stop you, nothing can stop you, and you can do whatever you want. But Red Skull said that it couldn't be undone. So here's why I question Marvel. Because if the Infinity Stones give you infinite power, so unlimited power, then technically they would have been able to bring Black Widow back. And also, when they were bringing the stones back, if they brought the stone back to the same place, you would think that Black Widow would come back and be alive again. So that's just my first point, because they could have got the Soul Stone and had Black Widow. So then that would be one less death in the movie. And so the next part is really okay. So my next idea is an easier way to get the Tesseract and the Space Stone. So you obviously know that when they were trying to get the Space Stone, they failed because as Tony was walking away with the case that had the Tesseract, Hulk busted through and knocked him, and then Loki got the stone and was able to escape. But what happened is, so then they didn't have any idea on how they could get the Tesseract back. So what I think would be is, the Avengers had already beaten Loki, so they could have went forward in time from that past to make it so that then the Avengers beat Loki again and get it that way. Or they can track down Loki by themselves and get the Tesseract that way. But instead, they decided to go farther back in time and get the Pym particles from old Dr. Pym and the Tesseract from Howard Stark. So that would have been easier. That's a short theory. But also, so you know how if you've seen Captain America: The Winter Soldier, you know that when he and Captain America and Black Widow are searching the computer place, they find a computer that has the a German doctor's mind on it that was working with Red Skull from Captain America's First Avenger. And basically, so they transferred his mind to the computer. And then when they were in the 1970s trying to get the Tesseract, you saw that Tony met his dad in the place by the name of Howard Potts. And when he was leaving, so his dad was getting in the car, and he gave the flowers in the can to his butler, I guess, and he called him Jarvis. So obviously you know that Jarvis is Tony's he was before Age of Ultron. He was Tony's computerized helper, and then Ultron kicked him out. But basically, so Jarvis was I'm pretty sure that Howard Stark, his dad, Tony's dad, used the same technology and put Jarvis's brain into a computer, and then that's how Tony had Jarvis. So basically, they used the same technology, but that means that Howard might have had something to do with Captain America: The First Avenger, because maybe he works with the scientist that was put into the computer, or maybe with Red Skull, because they figured out how to put minds and computers together to make a smart tech. But also now I'm thinking that since Jarvis was only his butler, if he had the tech to put a mind in a computer, you would think that maybe Howard would put his own mind in the computer, and then Tony would have his dad as his computer helper, because his dad was a genius, but Jarvis was just his butler or something. So I'm just thinking that Jarvis had a big part. So basically, Howard Stark, Tony's dad, played a big part in actually making Tony Iron Man, kind of, because he made Jarvis, and so that then he could be Iron Man. And so basically Howard. So also I think that Howard knew that there was technology for Iron Man, and that Tony would figure it out. I think he knew that somehow. So then he wanted to help him, or or maybe Howard wanted to create the Iron Man suit using Jarvis, which also would have play. So Howard was also trying to become Iron Man, but Tony was doing it, and so also since it was the same technology, Howard had been a scientist since the 1940s when the Captain America's First Avenger was set. So that means that he might have learned from Red Skull and the other scientist, and then wanted to make an Iron Man suit and Captain America serum and everything like that. But he died before he could do it, because Bucky killed Tony's parents to get something for the Germans. So this is all tied together because, well, I'm actually not sure if they remember, but the scientist, or Hydra, yeah, essentially Hydra. So Howard was using the same technology to put Jarvis into a computer that Hydra used to put the Hydra scientist in a computer. And then Bucky, working for Hydra, killed his parents for, I think that he killed his parents for the technology to make all that kind of stuff. And so it's all tied together. So the reason that Hydra was able to like grow in power was because of Tony's and his dad's technology that was stolen. So basically, they could have like learned about Hydra and other stuff about Hydra from that night when they went to the 1970s to get the Tesseract, because it's all tied together. Like all the Marvel movies are tied together. I'm pretty sure that in every Marvel movie there's some kind of reference towards Endgame. For my next thing, I just wanted to like try and help clear up the idea of time travel, how Professor Hulk stated it, because like when you think of travel, you think that like if you killed yourself in the past, you would die too, because you wouldn't be in your time because you died in the past. But as Professor Hulk said, whatever you do in the past doesn't actually change the present, because when you go to the past, going to the past is what's happening in your present, and you can't change your future by changing something. No, and so basically, what you would be doing if you killed yourself back then or did something back then, is you would be only doing something in the present that would affect your future. So basically, you can't do something in your present that would affect your present in a major way, besides the fact that you're doing it. Because like, if like I went back and like they took the stone, then that is now their current future or present, and you can't change the present by changing the future or the present, because it's the same thing. So you can't change your life by changing something that happened in your life in the future. And if it still doesn't make sense, just comment any questions down below yeah. But basically, you can't change the future by changing. You can't change your present by changing something in your future. And the last thing I want to talk about is how the vibranium shield, Captain America's vibranium shield, getting destroyed. So we all know that Captain America's shield is made of the strongest metal on Earth, and with vibranium. And so you know that when Thor, Iron Man, and Captain America went to go try and kill Thanos when he didn't have stones, Captain America's shield was broken by Thanos' double-sided blade. So when it gets bricked, so he keeps on smashing it, the vibranium shield, which is the strongest metal ever, which makes just hold up. And then it gets cut in half, like completely. But the only thing that I question is, so how did Captain America's shield break? Because Captain America's shield is the strongest metal ever in the universe. So there is no metal that could have cut it, because even Black Panther's vibranium claws, sorry, could only make a scratch in it. So what I was thinking is, how did Thanos get a metal that is supposedly stronger than vibranium? So he could, because one of the reasons is that you know how it got okay, so when they were in New York and he had the staff and he was walking on the bridge and the real Captain America saw him, well, the Captain America from 2014 saw him and thought that he was looking. Maybe he picked up the wrong shield that wasn't his there, and then that wasn't a strong enough shield. That is one part. And then the other part is, what if there is metal stronger than vibranium, and Thanos got it. And what I think it is so in Infinity War, when Thor's hammer was broken, so he went to, I forget what the place was, but with the dwarves who can make the world's strongest weapons. So I think that Thanos went there to make the double-sided blade, and once he got that, it would destroy Captain America's shield. But the thing is, why didn't Thor's hammer get destroyed? Because Thor's hammer was the same material as that too. So if they were the same material, they would have at least clashed with each other and made a little bit of damage. But both of the weapons were fine. So I think that Thanos' weapon was made out of vibranium. But then it comes to the fact that how would he break Captain America's shield? The only reason I can think of it is because Captain America's shield, because Tony gave him a new one. So I think that Tony made Captain America a new shield that wasn't made out of vibranium. And then that made Captain America less powerful, so he couldn't beat Thanos with keeping his shield and beat Thanos faster. Because if he had his real shield, then Thanos would have been an easy takedown. But so that's what I think. So then I think that Tony, in Captain America Civil War, he lost that shield, and he had to make a new one. But Tony should have known that vibranium wasn't going to be strong enough to fight Thanos, I guess. Or I technically he didn't know that he was fighting Thanos, but fight people, because a non-vibranium shield will get destroyed pretty quick. So I think that Tony thought that they wouldn't have to fight, and that they would all be fine. So he didn't make a shield, but make a good shield. But if he had made a vibranium shield, then Captain America probably would have done better. So this is just my theory. You don't have to agree with it, but I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Catch you next time. Like and subscribe, and comment down below which theories you think are right and wrong, and comment down your own theories too.